What is going on, basketball fans? Today we're going to be previewing the conference finals matchups for the NBA playoffs. It's been a great NBA playoff so far, and we're down to 4 teams. And how we got here is kind of crazy. The Timberwolves won Game 7 in Denver. The Pacers won Game 7 in Madison Square Garden against the Knicks. And I was expecting the Knicks and Nuggets to win those matchups. I knew the Timberwolves had the chance. I knew the Pacers had a chance, especially because of the Knicks' health issues. But honestly, before that Game 7, the home team had won every game of that Pacers-Knicks series. So you would think going back to Madison Square Garden, the Knicks were going to have an edge. And I know Jalen Brunson got hurt, but that is no excuse. The Pacers were winning that game before Jalen Brunson hurt his hand in that game. And the Pacers just showed to be the better team, plain and simple. So we got some really good conference finals matchups. I'm super excited to get into it. I just want to say subscribe if you guys are new. We do a ton of basketball content here on the channel, especially college basketball. We're going to have transfer portal updates coming out for you guys here real soon. So transfer portal stuff, college basketball offseason stuff, NBA playoffs, NBA draft, NBA offseason free agency. We're going to have some college football content coming back, starting up for preseason college football. Lots of good stuff coming here on the channel. In college football 25 video games coming out. We're going to have content on that. So make sure you guys subscribe if you guys are not already. Lots of good stuff coming soon. But let's get into these matchups. First off, I want to talk about the Western Conference Finals. So we got the Mavericks and we got the Timberwolves, and this is going to be a fun matchup, especially in that front court, which is going to be really interesting because the Timberwolves coming off of a front court matchup where they kind of dominated, especially Naz Reid coming off the bench. He was super clutch in that Game 7. Whenever Rudy Gobert and Cat were in foul trouble, they both had 5 fouls, and Rudy Gobert ended up fouling out before the end of the game. But Naz Reid, the 6th man of the year, came in and not only was making shots, Euro stepping, what he does, hitting threes, but on the defensive end, I forget who it was. It might have been Jamal Murray, but he pinned him off the glass, got a block, and then he was guarding Jokic in the post. Like a possession or two later, Jokic tried to post fade away him. Naz Reid blocked the Joker, and just doing it on both ends, really clutching up and helping the Timberwolves pull away. After they were coming back from down 20, helped the Timberwolves pull away by like 8 to 10 points there in the final minutes. Awesome stuff by Naz Reid, and he's gonna be a big player in this series. I don't think the Mavericks front court is near as good as the Nuggets, obviously, especially offensively. They have Daniel Gatford and Derek Lively, and Derek Lively has been playing some good minutes in the last few games for the Thunder. He's only a rookie, but he's been playing really good, especially getting some clutch hustle rebounds down the stretch. Offensive rebounds and defensive rebounds. They're just clutch, just shown to want it more than the Thunder players were wanting it, especially in that Game 6 where they closed it out. So that's going to be kind of a key matchup. But the thing about these Timberwolves bigs, they can stretch the floor. The Mavericks bigs, not so much. Naz Reid, Cat's going to be able to stretch the floor. Whereas, the Mavericks' bigs offense really only comes from lobs or offensive rebound opportunities in the Mavericks offense. But it's going to be interesting because you got guys like Derrick Jones Jr. for the Mavericks, PJ Washington, who are really stepping up. Kyrie's kind of taken, a back seat for the Thunder series where he's not really scoring. And that's not because he's been missing shots. That's just because he's not really been taking the shots. And he's been having 10 plus assists. I think 3 different games in that Thunder series. I think for the Mavericks to beat the Timberwolves, I think the Timberwolves have a better all-around team. I think that Kyrie has to be a scoring threat. He has to want to score the ball because we know Kyrie can do it. We saw it in the Clippers series in the first round, and we've seen it over the course of his whole career. I think if the Mavericks want to win the series, Kyrie has to want to score, and he can't just continue to take this back seat, allow Luka to work, and him play make for these guys like PJ Washington, Derrick Jones Jr. I know that, the Thunder were leaving these guys open, trying to not let Kyrie beat them and stuff. It makes a lot of sense. But I think if you're going to beat this Timberwolves team, It's going to be tough because that smothering defense that we haven't even talked about yet is going to be in play, but they are going to be smothering Luka. And Luka already just got smothered by the torture chamber in Lou Dort. Lou Dort was boxing him for a couple of those games, but Luka kind of found his footing. It's going to be a way different, animal seeing the Timberwolves here. With Jaden McDaniels, I'm assuming what the Timberwolves are going to do here in this matchup is put Jaden McDaniels on Luka and probably put Mike Conley on Kyrie. But they're going to switch, Ant, Nickeil Walker-Alexander, Jaden McDaniels. They're going to switch all these guys on to Luka. That's just modern NBA. No guy is just saying, okay, I got Luka for the whole 48 minutes. They're going to switch a lot, and they are probably going to pick up Luka by at least half court, maybe even 3/4 court length. They are going to be picking him up, and it is going to be tough. So the Mavericks are going to need Kyrie to want to score and to be, score 25, 30 points a game. I truly believe that is what the Mavericks are going to need. And they're going to also need these guys, Derek Lively, Daniel Gatford, to kill it on the glass, kill it defensively in the paint. They're going to need P.J. Washington, Derek Jones Jr. to be scoring options, be able to hit their threes. I think that's what the Mavericks are going to need to do. But I do think that the Timberwolves are going to win the series. I think they are going to make their first finals appearance in franchise history. I just think that they have the better overall team. They just knocked off the defending national champions in 7, and their best player, Anthony Edwards, had a bad game, at least scoring-wise. He was still doing it on the defensive end. He was still, hitting shots, getting a steal, fast break dunk here and there whenever it mattered, but he did not have a good all-around game, and they still wound up beating the Nuggets. And the Mavericks are not necessarily a great defensive team, at least around the perimeter. So I think that Ant can have his way in this series offensively and also defensively. I just think all around the Timberwolves are the better team. As much as I would love to see the Mavericks make the finals, purely because I would love to see Kyrie face his former team in the Celtics, because, let's be honest, I would love to see the Pacers in the finals. We're going to get to that matchup here next. But the Celtics they seem like the much better team in this matchup. I would be very shocked if the Celtics don't make the finals. I would love to see Celtics Mavericks in the finals, just to see Kyrie go up against his former team in the Celtics playing in the Garden. That would be a crazy matchup. But I do think the Timberwolves win in probably, it could go 7. I'm going to say 6. But if we're being honest, it could only be 5. I'm going to give them 6 just because I think Luka and Kyrie, they're going to score a lot. Kyrie has to be, like I said, he's got to want to score. I'm going to give them 6, but I still think the Timberwolves win this series and make it to the finals. I just think, like I said, that smothering defense in the perimeter, and then even if you get past that, you got the defensive player in the year down low in the paint and Rudy Gobert, and especially the way guys like Jaden McDaniels has been scoring the rock, which is not really, what his specialty is. His specialty is, he is one of the best wing defenders in the NBA. But he's been scoring the rock. You got Nasri, the 6th man of the year, who's been scoring the rock, coming in, playing valuable defense on this team that's already playing great defense. Even Cat, who is known to be not a great defender, playing amazing defense in these playoffs. He was playing better defense on Jokic than Rudy Gobert was, which is insane, but he was. So I just really like the Timberwolves. I think that they are just the better all-around team. And, yeah, I'm going to go with the Timberwolves in 6 games. Next up, we got the Eastern Conference Finals. We got the Celtics. We got the Pacers. And it's crazy to see the Pacers here. The East has had so many injuries this year, especially the Knicks. OG Anunoby played that Game 7, but he was hurt. Mitchell Robinson was out. And that's not an excuse for the Knicks, especially when the home team was winning every game of that series. I still think that, no excuses. They should be in the conference finals still. But credit to the Pacers. They have a good all-around team. They definitely deserve to be here. But Pacer fans are probably going to be mad at me. I think that, honestly, the Cavs have a better all-around team than the Pacers. I truly believe that. And the Cavs only got one game. I know Donovan Mitchell got hurt after, I think, Game 3, and they were down 2-1 to the Celtics. So that didn't help. I think the Cavs probably could have got one more game on the Celtics if Donovan Mitchell was playing. But all-around team, I feel like the Cavs were probably, with all the injuries in the East, I feel like the Cavs were probably the second best team in the East, and they had the best chance to knock off the Celtics in the Eastern Conference. I think the Pacers get one. A couple people I know I've been talking to, they said, this is probably going to be a sweep. I feel like the Celtics always kind of give their opponents one, and the Pacers at home have been relentless, and that has been a really good crowd there in Indiana. I think I would be surprised if they got swept. I could honestly see them getting 2. I don't think it goes to Game 7. I think maximum 6 games. I think the Celtics win in 5, though. I'm going to go Celtics in 5. They go back to Boston in Game 5 and finish it out. Kristaps Porzingis is still out for at least Game 1, and I'm assuming probably Game 2 of this series. We'll see, if he comes back in the middle of the series. It probably depends on how this goes. If the Celtics, or if the Pacers get, like a second win, if they go up like 2-1 or something like that, and they're playing Game 4 in Indiana, I'd say Porzy probably is going to come back. He's just not going to stay sitting out if the Celtics are down in the series, especially playing another game on the road. But if the Celtics are controlling the series, I think Porzy honestly might sit until the finals. But yeah, they got Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Drew Holiday. To have Drew Holiday and Derek White on your team is insane, because they're going to give you a lot of the same things. Like Derek White, probably a little bit better of a 3-point shooter, I'd say for sure. But they're both going to hustle rebound. They're both going to be excellent defenders. And then Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum are not bad defenders as well. So Porzy comes back at the 5. They're the only other team that I can say, probably can play to the defensive intensity and have the ability to switch with the rim protection as much as the Timberwolves, which is why I think that it's going to be Celtics, Timberwolves in the finals. I think they're probably the 2 best defensive teams. The Pacers don't really have that great of a defense, let's be honest. They play very fast offense. They have an amazing offense. Indiana fans are going to let me hear it about how I'm not really giving much of a chance. Listen, if they beat the Celtics, I'll be happier than anybody. I just don't see it happening. But Pacers, let's go over how they could win. Let's see how they could win. 1, Jason Tatum probably going to have a bad series. Not out of the realm of possibility. We've seen him, have bad series before when it mattered, especially, in the finals against the Warriors a couple years ago. Didn't have the best series. They lost to the Warriors in the championship. So, he's going to have a bad series. Tyrese Halliburton, this is what I think he needs to improve on. He needs to find a finishing ability in the paint. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Tyrese Halliburton gets almost all of his points from shooting 3 balls. If he shoots a layup, it's got to be like a wide open layup. He's not going to float it over a big. He's not going to try to finish over a big and get an and one. He's not going to stop and pop the midi. He needs to add those to his bag, I think. And he's got to do it in this series if they're going to beat the Celtics. He's got to add something else to his bag. Spicy P is going to have a big series. He can't lay an egg like he did over the course of this playoffs. It seems like he's been on one game, off one game, on one game, off one game. Spicy P's got to be on it in this series. Miles Turner's going to have to knock down his threes, play good defense, and they're going to have to steal one in Boston. In game 1 or 2, they have to get 1, and then I'd say they have to win both games in Indiana, 3 and 4. And they're going to have to go up 3-1 and then finish it off from there. And I think in order to do that, like I said, Tyrese Halliburton has to add a little bit to his bag. He's one of the best passers in the NBA. He is a great three-point shooter. He knocks them down. I understand that. I think for them to take the next step, he is going to have to add a floater. He's going to have to finish around the rim. Don't be scared to finish around the rim. Maybe add a stop and pop midi as he's driving to the rim. Something, man. He's got to add something. Spicy P's got to be on his game. You're going to need guys like Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Naismith to be playing great defense. Andrew Nembhard's been an underrated scorer for them. He's been a guard for the Indiana Pacers that has not been scared to drive it to the rack. So I think that is what the Pacers need. And how have I gone this long in the video without mentioning T.J. McConnell? T.J. McConnell might have been the best player in the playoffs for the Pacers this year. They are going to need a massive, massive series from T.J. McConnell, and I think he's going to give it to him. I think, T.J. McConnell has been so amazing and so fun to watch these playoffs. And honestly, because of T.J. McConnell, I'm going to give the Pacers 2 games. I'm going to say Celtics in 6. I just think T.J. McConnell, super fun to watch. This can't be a quick ending series. Let's have the Pacers win 2 games. They honestly do have like a great all around team. I just think they're going to need Tyrese Halliburton. Like I kind of said for Kyrie, he's going to have to want to score, and that just can't come from just behind the 3-point line because the Celtics have relentless defenders. How is he going to be able to do that with probably Derek White guarding him? We'll see if he can do it. Maybe a Drew Holiday's on him. Either way, relentless defenders, man. And I'm excited for these conference finals matchups. Game 1 of Celtics Pacers is tonight. Game 1 of Mavericks Timberwolves is tomorrow. Let me know who you guys got in the finals. I think the 2 best defenses in the NBA, Celtics Timberwolves, will probably be the finals matchup. We'll see if it happens. I would love to see Celtics Mavericks, see that Kyrie revenge series. That would be awesome to see. I would also love to see the Pacers make it to the finals. It would be an insane, underdog ride to the finals. It would be amazing to watch. So let me know what you guys think is going to happen in the conference finals. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching.